Thank you, Mr Chair.
John O'Naylor.
I move that the question be now put.
Kelvin Davis.
Thank you, Mr Chair. Mr Chair, I'd like to talk specifically to clause 41 in a supplementary order paper in my name, which deletes clause 41. The point being that it goes back to what David Clendon was saying about deaths in care or custody. Now, I can understand the position of people saying, well, when you have somebody in custody who's maybe had cancer for a year or so, or has a history of ill health and they pass away in custody, that it's really not important to go to the extent of having an inquest rather than an inquiry will do. I can sort of understand that, Mr. Chair, except what the supplementary order paper does, or what Section 80 in the Coroners Act 2006 did, it said, it took out all the discretion. It said a coroner must decide to hold an inquest for the purposes of the inquiry if the death appears to have been a death in official custody or care. The concern really is more around those people who are in state care, such as SIF's children who may have taken their own lives. There was an example that was brought up in the select committee process where they were advised by an ex-coroner of a case involving a young person in SIF's care who did commit suicide. The changes in the Act lean towards an inquiry being held in this case, but the coroner actually in question conducted an inquest which allowed, as a result of the hearings that took place, allowed the coroner to identify a series of suicides in the small community, and the local DHB were alerted, and then the DHB were actually able to put in place strategies around the cluster of suicides. And so I think it's important, in particular for those who die in state care, that an inquest must be held, rather than just having the discretion of maybe an inquest might be held and just have the inquiry. As we know, the inquiry is a paper-based sort of look at the death, rather than actually holding hearings and looking into the full circumstances around the death. That said, the deaths in custody, I think I understand where others are coming from, where other parties are coming from. I understand that this particular clause 41 has support from various organisations, but I still think that deaths in custody do need to be looked at in depth, and all the circumstances around those deaths in custody should be part of a full inquest. Just to be on the safe side, I know we have a lot of respect for coroners and the work they do. In fact, a relation of mine is the coroner up in the north there. So it's not to say that coroners will try and take shortcuts in this instance. It's really just making sure that the whole the system, the whole circumstances around the death of a person in custody are looked at. If you take the suicide that I mentioned before about the young person in SIF's care who committed suicide, the DHB being alerted would never have happened if an inquiry had been chosen over an inquest. So we're also concerned by the loss of more critical examination of deaths in corrections. We believe that there are a number of instances where people have passed away in corrections, and the circumstances around their deaths need to be looked at. So, Mr. Chair, this is just a short contribution to talk around my SOP, which believes clause 41 should be removed, and the section 80, as is in the Coroners Act of 2006, should be kept as it is. Thank you.
Jacinda